Good day, Servitor. We are Group 3 and this will be our last laboratory discussion. Our laboratory discussion will focus on the urogenital system. For our objectives, we will identify histological and the parts of the frog's kidney, testis, and ovaries. Second is to identify the organs of the urogenital system of both male and female toads. And last, we will trace the pathway of urine, egg cells, and sperm cells of a tod.
To begin, what exactly is the urogenital system? The term urogenital is derived from the Greek words auro, which means urine, and genitals, which mean reproduction. The kidneys are the primary excretory organs. These are retroperitoneal in position as they are dorsal to all other abdominal organs and the peritoneum. The paired gonads, notably the testes and ovaries, are the most important reproductive organs.
We shall now discuss the histology of a frog's kidney. A renal corpuscle is made up of tufts of capillaries surrounded by a clear region in kidney histology. The tufts of capillaries are referred to as the glomerulus, and the clear spherical area surrounding the glomerulus is referred to as the Bowman's capsule. It also has the renal tubules, which are represented by rounded structures lined with epithelial cells. The renal corpuscles and renal tubules combine to form a nephron, which is the functional unit of a kidney. This structure is where urine production process takes place.
Following that, we will now go over the histology of a frog's testis. Seminiferous tubules portions are represented by compartmentalized ovoid formations. The cells that are lined, these are compartments that are germinal and epithelium, which is responsible for the production of sperm cells. The immature sperm or the spermatogonia cells are ovoid in shape and have a distinct nucleus. Mature sperms are commonly known as spermatozoa, have a thread-like appearance.
We'll now look at the histology of a frog's ovaries. The ovary is surrounded by a cover called the theca externa. The egg cells are known as primary oocytes, and their nucleus is also known as the germinal vesicle. Within the nucleus, there are several nucleoli, and some of these nucleoli manage the distribution of accumulated yolk in the developing oocyte. There are also follicle cells, which are ovoid cells found directly outside the cell membrane that nourish the developing oocyte. Finally, the theca interna is a thin layer of connective tissue that surrounds the follicle cells.
We will now discuss the anatomy of a toad's urogenital system, which is the main topic of this lesson. A toad's urinary organs are made up of, first, the kidney, which is a brownish elongated organ with notched edges. The chromaffin tissue, which is equivalent to the adrenal gland, are yellowish strips of tissues present in the medial part of the kidney. The Mesonatric Dock, also known as the Wolffian Dock, is a thread-like structure located in the outer margins of the kidney that serves as a pathway for both urine and reproductive products in the cloaca. Finally, the urinary bladder appears as a soft mass of thin tissue slightly ventral to the large intestine.
Following our discussion of the urinary organs, we will now discuss the reproductive organs of a male tod. The testes are a pair of yellowish, elongated structures situated on the ventricle region of each kidney, and the mesorchium helps keep the testis in place, and the vas efferenta are tiny, slender tubules located on the mesoderm that transport sperm from testis to kidney, while the vas deferens is a mesonervic duct found in the lateral edges of a kidney that allows the spermatozoa to pass. It observes the yellowish finger-like structure known as corporal adiposa and anterior to the testis, or what we call fat bodies. The Bidder's organ is a grayish mass of tissue that depicts a rudimentary ovary. This is also located in an anterior to the testis.
Next would be the reproductive organs of the female toad. It mainly consists of the ovaries, corpora adiposa, oviducts, ostium, uterine enlargement, and cloaca. The ovaries of a female toad are paired, lobulated, are saccular in shape, and are located on the kidney's ventral walls. As for the mesovarium, it suspends the ovaries from its dorsal body wall. Ovaries become enlarged once it produces spherical, small, pigmented eggs. If the ovary is white and has a folded structure, then it is called a young ovary. Corpora adiposa, also known as fat bodies, are yellowish and have finger-like structures. As for the oviducts, they are white, long tubes located on each side of the ovary. They are also very complex and intricately coiled. One of its openings, called the ostium, is the most anterior and is funnel-shaped. It serves as an entrance for the eggs, which were released from the ovary towards the body cavity. These eggs are also temporarily stored in the uterine enlargement. Lastly, in the cloaca, eggs are coated and released into water where external fertilization occurs.
Now, we will move on to the second part of the worksheet, which are the guide questions. First question would be, what are the major steps in urine formation in a nephron? The three main steps in the production of urine are glomerular filtration, reabsorption, and secretion. The glomerulus removes water and tiny solutes from the bloodstream during glomerular filtration. The filtrate produced contains waste, as well as other necessary components for the body, such as vital ions, glucose, amino acids, and smaller proteins. Reabsorption occurs next, in which the necessary components and some water are reabsorbed through the tube wall into the nearby capillaries. Finally, during secretion, the released ions mix with the remaining filtrate to form urine.
For the second question, would be describing the important processes involved in a gamete formation in testes and ovaries and the difference between the two. The two major processes involved in a gamete formation that are spermatogenesis and oogenesis. What are the difference? The two of the spermatogenesis generates 4 haploid sperm cells, while oogenesis generates 1 mature ovum. Also, all phases of spermatogenesis takes place in the testis. Oogenesis, on the other hand, takes place in the ovary, with some of its last phases taking place in the oviduct.
The third and last question would be tracing the pathway of urine, egg cells, and sperm cells in the frog. The pathway of urine goes from kidneys to the mesonephric ducts, to the urinary bladder, and to the cloaca. The kidneys are responsible for removing waste products of metabolism and regulating the number of ions in the body. As such, the mesonephric duct collects the urine from the kidneys and in turn transports the urine into the urinary bladder. After reaching the urinary bladder, urine then passes through the cloaca, which lies ventral to the urinary bladder. The pathway of egg cells, on the other hand, starts from the ovary to the body cavity, to the oviduct, to the uterus, and finally to the cloaca. Lastly, the pathway of sperm cells goes from the testis to the vas efferentia, to the kidney, to the Bidder's canal, to the mesonephric duct, and finally to the cloaca. Testis produce the sperm cells, which in turn are transported to the kidney through the help of the vas efferentia. Afterwards, it passes through the Bidder's canal and to the mesonephric duct. The mesonephric duct is also called the vas deferens, which serves as a passageway for spermatozoa. Finally, the sperm reaches the cloaca.
Just like in our previous laboratory discussions, We were able to learn about the urogenital system by reading and watching these references. That's all. Thank you.